Salam, meaning peace. You got your partner, AAWRS1, Dig It, getting ready to continue with the Christianity, the Al-Islam series, right? We're going to pick it up from leaving RJ Donovan, but first, I got some torpedo alerts, but I had left some stuff out, so I want to interject that real quick, and then inshallah we're going to move on, and I'm going to try and keep it short. I remember when I first touched down also on the reception yard. On the yard, word gets around, you know, especially when you're seeking a religion. And I happened to meet this light-skinned brother named Muhammad. And there's so many brothers named Muhammad, alhamdulillah, rabbil alameen. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his name used to be the #1 name in the world, right? Anyway, you know, people naming their children after him. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But anyway, I met this brother. And me and him start talking. He said, brother, please forgive me for being toe up. I ain't been practicing deen. You know what I'm saying? He said, but I do know a couple of chapters of the Quran, and I'm going to give you the first chapter of the Quran. I'm going to write it down for you. So the next time we come out the yard, we come out the chow, I'll shoot it to you. I was like, all right, cool. I met the brother. Shot me the Quran. So I'm going to, you know, the words. I had the Quran, but it was in storage because it take a while for you to get your property. When you get on the reception yard, basically you don't get it until when you get ready to transfer to another facility or another yard, right? So anyway, I want to mention that brother, and I want to mention with him, I saw him a couple of times on the outs, and he did real well for himself. He ended up getting involved in NA and getting involved with children and stuff like that, teenagers and stuff like that through some type of program. And the brother came up and Allah was blessing him. You know what I'm saying? And one thing I can say that I never forget what he said to me one time. He said, damn, he said, like, I'm amazed at like the knowledge that you acquired. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, what are you talking about? And he was like, you know, you telling me stuff that I don't even know. You know what I'm saying? So I want to acknowledge him for that. And I want to acknowledge the brother. He was a good brother for the encounters that I did have with him. But my mind state wasn't in the mind state that it is now. So this is why Allahu Alam. You know what I'm saying? Allah knows best. It's in his Carter. When he write it down, that's it and that's all. It's just hard for us sometimes to understand that Carter. Anyway, I also met another brother at that same time who was in a different, what's that fool? No, Brother Muhammad was, he was in a different building. No, we was in the same building. It was another Muhammad that I had met. He was from the Nation of Islam though, right? And he was like, yeah, brother, I heard you was seeking Islam. I said, well, tell me about the nation, man. I said, I tried to get with him when I was on the street. I never could get with him. You know what I'm saying? He was like, man, I grew up. I was like born into the nation. You know what I mean? He was like, man, you on the right path. You know what I mean? You seeking out Islam? He said, you on the right path, homie. Don't even trip on the nation. And I was like that? He said it was like that. And I remember me and him was going to chow one time, and it was this dude storming up the yard, right? Now, see, this is how a brother's supposed to respond. Brother Muhammad said, look, you see this fool coming right now? I said, yeah. He said, it's on sight with this fool. I said, it's like that? He said, it's like that. So Brother Muhammad starts stabbing towards him, right? Y'all, we in jumpsuits and damn karate shoes, right? That's what we call them in the Bay. They call them jack flaps, right? That's discriminatory. You know what I'm saying? Up in the Bay, we call them karate shoes because fools used to sport them. Anyway, they marching towards each other, right? Wah, 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 wah. We on the way to chow. And the fools just start chunking. They getting it up right there. They ain't tripping the tower. Ain't tripping none of that. It's on site. Just some other stuff that Brother Muhammad had got into it with his brother with. Anyway, they laid the yard down, whoop-de-whoop, whoop-de-whoop. They came and got him, cuffed him up, whoop-de-whoop, whoop-de-whoop. Took him on the way. I saw him the next day. We talked about it. We laughed. And I used to always cap on him. I used to be like, man, let me get some of the powdered donuts. He'd be like, powdered donuts? I said, yeah, because the lips is yellow white. And I just wanted to give a shout out to those two brothers. You know what I'm saying? One was going the wrong way and prescribed for me to go the right way, and the other brother was in a messed up condition, but was able to let me see his trueness by being a believer. Okay, boom, let's leave that there. Now, one more thing about that bodybuilding cat that, you know, talking about me with the white boy. I don't know how he knew that, because it was a few years later before I came back to the pen, before I had saw him again. See, that's a torpedo. Now, he had to know somebody to know me that was on that trip that shot up to the pen and saw him and told him, or he's a straight torpedo. Because I remember I saw him in the street one time, right? And I sided on him. Whoop, he was at that park, y'all. Y'all know it was off University over there in East Dago. I can't remember the name of it, but I sided on him in traffic, right? Whoop, but I told my relative, I was like, yeah, see that fool right there? That was one of the sale with him who ran with Whoop, right? I did a moving. Now, we got that little torpedo alert. Let's move on. I'm trying to keep it short, y'all, but it's going to be hard. And I may forget some stuff, so alhamdulillah, inshallah, what I remember, I'll interject. Now, about that other torpedo, the one that was in the cell bimmy, about the tobacco, right? Boom. He ended up catching that same chain with me to CRC. Out of all them brothers that was there, didn't nobody roll with me to CRC except for that torpedo and some other cats that came on our wave through the county jail. So we end up in CRC. It's in Norco, California, y'all. Right down the street from damn. Oh, I always forget the name of that damn pen, man. Inshallah, to come to me. Upon it not coming back, I'll get the name and then I'll tell y'all. But there's another major pen right up the street from there, and people hate going there. Hold on. Salam, many peace. I apologize for that, y'all. I believe it's CIM, but when the other name that I know it by, inshallah, to come back to me, I'll let you know, because I believe Bobby Bond's father, his sister, my mother knew his sister, and I think she worked at that facility, because I remember us driving up there. And she ran up in there for a minute and came back, because I don't think she was messing with no thug. That's right. I said Bobby Bonds. Barry Bonds' father. I met his sister and his nephews. I'm going to give y'all that story at another time. I think I met Barry when we went to an Angels game, and this is when Bobby was playing for the Angels. But we'll get back into that later on. So anyway, we take the chain. We get to CRC, right? Boom. 100-man dorms. When you first get there, they put you in this hotel. I forgot how many floors it is, but I think I remember they had 2 child halls on different floors. You got to walk all the way down them steps and stuff. Then come down the yard. They had a little teeny, like, mini yard. This is back at CRC when they had all the trees. They ain't got no more trees there or nothing now. I don't even know if it's still operating. Anyway, they put you in that hotel. It's real depressing right there. And then, like I had told y'all before, they were moving all the end numbers off of the 4 yard and the 3 yard, and putting them on the 2 yard and the 1 yard, and then the hotel. Let me make sure I got that right. It's hotel, end number, 1 yard, end number. 2 yard, end number. That's right. Because we had emirs on those yards. But anyway, they bring down the fellas and put us on the 3 yard, 100-man dorms, right? So the first thing I see when I walk in the dorm, mostly everybody was at work when I came down. And when I walked in the dorm, I talked to the floor officer right there, because, you know, you walk in and then they got a barber shop, and then you come on in, and then there's a game room, and then there's the TV room, and then there's the police offices, and then there's the dorm, you know, and the showers and stuff, the bathroom on the right-hand side, and then it's just bunks. And then at that time, you know, you may get a black bunkie, a white bunkie, you know what I mean? Hispanic bunkie, or a border brother. I didn't get a chance to explain to y'all about border brothers. Now, I remember told you I didn't see no punks messing with the Hispanic brothers, but the border brothers, I seen the border brothers kind of fandangle with them. I ain't gonna put that on them. I ain't gonna say they was hugging them and all that. They may have just been transacting business with them. But see, the border brothers, they got a whole car by themselves. You see what I'm saying? You got the La Raza, you know what I mean? You got the gangbangers, but then you got border brothers. They got their own thing. You know what I'm saying? I met them in the street. I dealt with them in the street. And one thing about them, all they see is money. You know what I'm saying? The ignorant ones, they don't see no money. But them real border brothers, yeah, all they see is money. You know what I'm saying? You produce some money, they'll be cool with you. You know what I'm saying? I ain't go, and this is al-haq, wallahi, meaning I swear. I had one ask me one time, he said, man, I got a farm. You know what I'm saying? You can go and get your girl, y'all can come live on my farm. He was cool with me like that. I ain't gonna get into his business, but his business was raw. And he wasn't really involved in the business. It was his sister that was running the business. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna say what spot in Mexico, but it's in Mexico. You see what I'm saying? And he told me, he said, man, my sister is running this here, bro. Like that. And I was like, really? He was like, hell yeah. And I was like, woo. But anyway, we get there, and as soon as I walk into the dorm, what do I see? I see two brothers standing there, one brother with a kufi. They standing at a locker. So I walk up, introduce myself. I told the brothers I'm interested in Islam, but I'm a Christian. I'm seeking Christianity too, right? One of them was the Muslim clerk, and another brother I met was from out of Dago, right? He was born in the nation. You'll call him Young Jay. I got much respect for that brother. Inshallah, that brother is on the Sirota Mustaqim. I learned a lot from him when I'm coming first into this deen, and I'm going to tell y'all about it. So anyway, I got in with them. I tried to get in Brother Amin. He was the clerk, real intelligent brother. Had been down for like, I think he was on his 15th year when I met him. And he's about to get out. And he was offered the martial arts. Real intelligent. Used to write 602s. He was get at everybody. He write the governor. He write everybody. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so I got in with them brothers. You know what I'm saying? And then I come into the dorm. I met this other buster. I don't know if he was from Pomona, but I think he was from somewhere out of LA. But he was a torpedo. You know, you got the wannabe ballers who people got money. You see what I'm saying? You know, it's hard for them to earn respect on the street from what I've witnessed. You know what I mean? Because it's like, man, you don't even need to be doing this. You see what I'm saying? You just want to be. And whenever you meet a wannabe, they dangerous. Some of them can be dangerous when they're not intelligent. When they're ignorant wannabe, you got to watch out for them. You got to get away from them. You see what I'm saying? So anyway, I ride down there with him. He a Christian, so-called Christian anyway. But anyway, I'm going to tell you about him because it got real funky between me and him because his torpedoism came out. You see what I'm saying? So anyway, I meet them brothers, and I found out about the Christians there who was getting down. Oh, I forgot. I had got cool with a brother that was from Upside, right? Down here, he's from Upside. And he wanted to change his life. Big old dark-skinned brother, knowledgeable too in the Bible. Me and him, I forgot, he came with me from RJD, right? And we touched down, and me and him was cool because we was cool in the county. So we was doing our Christian thing together. You know what I'm saying? Having a circle and everything, boom. So now we in the pen now, boom. So they had this little Christian thing called the ladder where they used to meet on the yard. So I used to join that little thing and testify and all that and say stuff. And I told them fools, I said, yeah, I'm checking out Islam right now. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, so far, I'm still a Christian, you know, and of course they love to hear that. You know what I mean? And I remember looking up at the stairway and I saw some Muslims I had spoke to, a few days before that. And it was one old Muslim. He was getting ready to get out to this old cat. He had been down for a long time. So you got to understand, you get them lifers and stuff, and they get their points down in them level 2s, man, they ain't trying to toss that off. They tired of living up in that high pressure level 4, man. They want to get their points down as low as possible. So when they go up in front of them review boards, you know what I'm saying? The possibility of them paroling is higher. But you know, once you got that kickstand, it's hard for you. And I know and felt the depression of lifers being rejected, being refused parole. And man, a lot of them, you already know not to mess with them. You already know, because they already going to let you know it. Man, I'm finna go up in front of the board. And, you know, they cool with you. And I knew a gang of lifers. There was a gang of lifers at CRC. The ones who I was really cool with was one named Snake. He was a lifer Crip out of Compton. And this other lifer, he was a blood, though. And he was out of Compton, too. Man, we all worked together. You know what I'm saying? And dry cleaning. I'm going too fast. So anyway, I get there. I'm waiting to get a job. You know what I'm saying? And I'm kicking it with Jay because we got something in common. Because you know, from day go, we made him talk. And now there was Spice M was there from Skyline. He was the OG. He was there from Skyline. He was there at that time. And Spice, Spice little. You know what I'm saying? He looked little, but he ripped. But he's strong as hell. That fool can warm up with 8/4. You know what I'm saying? That fool was strong. And he was in his Pomona lifting car. I'm going to get into that. Because we still had weights on the yard then. You still had family visits. You still could smoke. See, those things relieve pressure. Even though, smoking not good for you. But hell, if you want to make your job easier, you know what I'm saying? You got to let that thing go. So anyway, there's so much going on. I'm trying to attack it from a different angle so I won't keep y'all hostage. So I'm hanging out with Jay, you know what I mean? And I'm getting the game of Islam, you know what I mean? And then so I'm still doing the Christian thing, so I'm going back and forth with the woo. So I remember when he was telling me about prayer, and he did the Adhan. He did a little bit of the Adhan. He sounded off, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. I just had to do it. I love it. So anyway, when I heard that, I was like, oh man, that's what I heard in the movies, right? And he was like, yeah. He said, but man, they don't do it no justice. And I was like, well, do it again. He's like, you're only supposed to do it when you call people to prayer, right? You know what I'm saying? And I can give you the hadith and how that was introduced, but that's later. Anyway, well, you got big sheikhs on here that can give you that. So anyway, that started spurring me more to get into Islam. So he was like, you want to learn how to pray? And I was like, yeah. So he took a piece of paper and he drew stick men on every position that I was supposed to do. And he wrote down in English what I was supposed to say. And he was like, well, just follow me. I'm going to pray with you. And I was like, I'm going to lead you in prayer. And I was like, all right, cool. And this is how I learned how two people could pray. You know what I'm saying? Touching elbow to elbow. It's a different process. I'll tell you about that later. Anyway, may Allah bless that brother. You see what I'm saying? Because even though he was nation, he knew about Al-Islam and he knew how to pray because he'd been in prison. He was a young cat and he had done a lot of time. I learned a lot from him. I learned how to protect myself in the hallways because he taught me that. Youngster. He was like, man, I see how you be strolling through the hallway, homie. You can just get jabbed up. And I was like, yeah. He said, yeah. He said, just watch what I do when we be in the hallway and smashing. Because, that hallway be packed. You know what I mean? And if something go down, that's close combat right there. And if people got steel, it's going to be real raw. And I also learned it from the Crip I was telling you about. That was the lifer that was from Compton, Snake, OG Snake. He taught me a lot about that too. And they taught me how to, when you coming through them hallways, you want to keep your arms up around your chest area so you can deflect stuff and you can move, elbow, boom, boom, punch, boom, boom, boom. You got access. You know what I mean? Somebody push up on you or something. You got room, and when it comes to them jabbing, if they come down at the ribs or something like that, you can get that arm down there. But I learned a lot from dude, and we used to come through the hallways. But I pray that Allah grants that brother the highest point in Jannah Al-Firdaus, period. Because that brother got me, he taught me how to pray. You know what I mean? Because in there, they got pamphlets and stuff. You read them pamphlets and stuff, sometimes you get misdirected. There's a lot of material that comes in there. And upon Allah, who's Akbar, not giving you a sound foundation, you can get curved. You know what I'm saying? And I done that before. It's easy to be slipped misleading information up off in there. You see what I'm saying? So anyway, let's jump. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Boom. I signed up on the docket. I want to get into Juma. I'm going to skip some stuff and then draw back. I want to get into Juma. You know what I'm saying? So I was coming in from work one day and I got to tell y'all that story. See, I'm going too fast. When they see you into the classification there, they try to get you a job and stuff, see where you want to fit in. So I wanted to hustle, and I also wanted to stay clean, right? So I went for vocational dry cleaning. Ain't no pay number for that. But the pay number is the work that you do, pressing up people's clothes and stuff like that. That's a mean hustle. I was making a grip off of that. You know what I'm saying? Per month. And I was doing my Muslim brothers stuff for free. You see what I'm saying? And then the people that got their clothes done with me on regular, I would hook them up extra, or they may have a homie or something. I'd be like, well, man, give me a homie's clothes. You know what I mean? I'll hook them up for free since you spend it. And my locker was fat, alhamdulillah. But anyway, I was working for this lady named Miss A.G. You know what I mean? The big hair, you know what I'm saying? Big old chest. This is talk crazy. She was a sergeant. They had the gold to come to her glasses, talk crazy to everybody, everything, right? And I don't know if this story is appropriate yet. Oh, it's too soon for this story. It's too soon for this story, y'all. I'm tripping. Anyway, let's go back, right? We're going to go back to me trying to get into Juma, right? So I come in from work. I see young Jake. You know what I mean? I greet the brother. Boom. He greet me back. I said, man, where you finna go? He said, man, I'm finna go to Juma. You know what I'm saying? He put his kufi on, you know. And he said, you didn't get your ducat? I said, nah, man, I still ain't got a ducat. He was like, man, just follow me. The only thing they can do is tell you can't go and send you back. I was like, all right, cool. Boom, I rode with him all the way up to Juma. Because when you come from the threes, you got to walk up them hallways all the way up. And then, you know, before you get to each, you got to get through the gates. You know, the different gates you got to go through, show your ID and everything, boo, 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 show your ducat, whoop, 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 where you going, and then, you know, you migrate on through. So he said, man, just get behind me and we going to mob. You know what I'm saying? So don't even trip. You know, because these guards, they don't mess with me. And then at the last spot, there was a sister. She was from the nation. Chocolate thing. She was bad, too. But she was misguided, though. But anyway, she wouldn't give us no static. Now, I could say that about the sister. She didn't never give us no static. They had a Nation of Islam sister there, and they had a Nation of Islam brother in receiving. The one him was receiving, he was cool, too. I'm going to say that. He was cool. So anyway, we stabbing through the hallways. He's showing his ducat. I just showed my ID. Long story short, we make it up in there. I may have told you this story in a different video, but this is the original thing and how it's going down in my transformation. Bam. I get up in there, Juma. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I did tell y'all this story. The first thing I noticed was they took everything down. Everything was quiet. You know what I'm saying? I sat in the pews. I was checking them out. I had my perm at the time. And I heard that brother, I saw how they greet each other. I heard that brother read Arabic, all right? And I was like, okay, cool. I came back down. I went to my other Crip partner. He was from Compton, too. He was funny as hell. He used to work in the kitchen. He used to tell me, he was like, hey, don't go to chow today. You know what I mean? Because I know what they put in there. And fools dropping cans all over the place. He used to tell me, he was one of them funny cats. He was like a comedian. I forgot what set he was from, but he was hella cool, right? And he used to cut hair. And I was like, man, let me get a cut. And he's like, what? You finna cut the perm? I said, I'm cutting him all out. He said, you going full Islam? I said, I think I'm going full Islam. Cut the perm out. Now, I ain't hanging out with no more Christians or nothing. You know what I'm saying? Kicking it with nothing but Muslims. Now, the brother that came with me from Dago, who's a Christian, right? He was like, oh, man, because he used to call me preacher. And I had to, when I first saw him, that's right, I was up there before him. I messed up, y'all. I remember he called me preacher and I had to check him. I said, check this out, partner. I don't get down like that no more. He said, you don't? I said, no. I said, I'm a Muslim. I'm studying Islam now. He said, oh, it's like that? I said, man, it's like that, homie. I get back, I spun, did it moving. You see what I'm saying? I'm still cool with him. I just had to let him know, man, I don't do that no more, partner. You know what I'm saying? That's like high school. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to graduate school now. You see what I'm saying? So I think I done talked enough, y'all. And inshallah, we're going to bring it back and we're going to continue it from there. From me starting to push now towards Al-Islam, what transpired with that. And also, you know, with the torpedoes that may be involved. I don't mean no disrespect to no other races, no other religions, and no other people. I'm just explaining my story to you. I'm entertaining you. You see what I'm saying? Because I think it's entertaining. You see what I'm saying? You got your partner, Abd al-Wahid Rajil Saifuddin. Bringing it back to you once again. Salam, meaning peace. Remain blessed, you and your families.